Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Brief Nerdity podcast. I am your host once again this week. My name is Ryan. Joining me as always is my wonderful co-host Trent.
Hello.
How you doing?
Great.
It's another Monday and we're now in July.
I feel like it's been forever since we talked.
I know, right?
Because we recorded last Friday, and then, as I called it, a crap ton of news hit that weekend.
What?
So, anyway, hello everyone. And joining us this week is a good friend of mine.
I'm about to say everyone's not talking back to you. That pause there. You're like, hello everyone. Pause. Wait for all of our listeners to respond.
You know what?
We're not playing Dora the Explorer.
The audience in my head talks back to me during the show.
Mm-hmm.
So,
which of these games is your favorite? Point to the one that's right.
We did it! We did it! Yay! Anyway, joining us also this week is my good friend Ted.
Hey everyone.
Have you met Ted? I had to. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Man, How I Met Your Mother. What a show. What a show.
Yeah.
Anyone else hate Lily?
No, because it's Allison Hannigan and I love her.
She is amazing, but Lily is terrible. She's a terrible person.
Really, the whole show makes me cringe just because of the Have You Met Ted thing and the Ted character. Really, just the whole thing.
It reminds me of the nostalgia critic. His name is Doug Walker, and he hates the Nickelodeon show Doug with a passion because, like, when he was a kid, like everyone's like, "Oh, Doug funny."
Yeah.
And, "Oh, you gonna go kiss Patty Mayonnaise?" And so he's like, "Oh, so he."
Yeah, I feel that.
If you watch his channel, he passionately just hates the show Doug now. So I could definitely feel your pain for Have You Met Ted.
That's awesome.
Have you done the Naked Man yet, though?
Sorry?
Have you done the Naked Man?
Not yet.
No.
It's on the to-do list.
Yeah, I don't have any annoying or bad Trents. The only Trents, the famous Trents I can think of are like, football stars and music, like rock stars.
Trent Reznor, yeah.
Right? So it's like, yeah, you can call me Trent Reznor. That's fine.
Well, I will say, I call out to a coworker of mine. He said after he met you, he was like, so his name is Trent, and he's from Kansas. He's like, and there was a Superman or superhero whose last name was Kent.
Yes.
From Kansas. So we should call him Clark Trent.
I've had worse nicknames. I'd be okay with that.
But yeah.
Clark Trent. All right, that settles it.
You're now Clark Trent.
Yep.
So thanks for that, Travis. One of our most loyal listeners.
Woo.
All right, let's go ahead and get to today's round robin. Still question why we call it that, but whatever. It works. Today we're talking about our favorite reboot. Who would like to go first?
Me.
All right,
Ted would like to go first. Okay, so I actually really like the Star Trek from 2009 reboot. Ooh. Not because it actually follows Star Trek. It uses all the same characters, but it totally takes a different route with it, right? It brings Star Trek to, I don't want to say the masses, but Star Trek in its original form is a really cerebral kind of thoughtful show. Whereas the Star Trek in this kind of brings a piece of that, but also, keeps people engaged with a little more action, a little more speed. So I like that they brought that together. I hope they continue that.
I really like that choice because I am the masses, and Star Trek 2009 brought Star Trek to me. I was familiar with it, and I watched it a little bit growing up with my dad, but I didn't really enjoy it. I was definitely more of a Star Wars kid. And, but then Star Trek 2009 came out, and I saw it, and I loved the crap out of it.
Yeah.
And so it prompted me to go watch all the original series and then the Next Generation, and then, of course, all the movies. So
that's dedication.
Yep.
The crap out of it. The only sad part for me is that he still hasn't watched Deep Space Nine or Voyager, which are my two favorite Star Trek series.
Well, they're on my list too. I'm sorry, Trent. I know. I failed you.
I mean, they are really big commitments, don't get me wrong. It's like 7 seasons with 24 episodes each.
And most of my TV watching is done with my wife, and she's not as cerebral as I am. So
I think she would really like Star Trek Voyager a lot.
Yeah?
And if we're calling people out on stuff, Trent, have you even watched The Next Generation?
You know, I watched it when I was a kid when it was on and with my dad.
Have you watched the original series?
Some of it.
So you're like, oh, these 2 Star Trek shows are my favorite. They're the only ones I've seen, though.
Brutal.
But I've seen them from start to finish, and those are the ones that were like of my time. Don't hipster fan me. You don't get to do that with Star Trek to me.
Oh, I am not an OG fan. I am a new fan. I will claim that. And I'm not. It's not like me saying like, oh yeah, the original series and Next Generation are my favorite. Man, Voyager.
No, I've tried to start the original series a few times on Netflix and watch it. I'm just like, wow, I don't know.
It's pretty corny.
I don't know if I can binge this. Like, this is tough.
Yeah, and you can see like when they like start gaining a little bit of budget, you can see like their props kind of change, and you're like, oh, the communicator changed. Oh, what happened?
Yeah,
I'll fully admit that the original series has a handful of really good episodes. But other than that, it's kind of meh.
Yeah, and apparently they only used to have like 3 minutes of commercials back then, so the episodes are like 57 minutes long.
Yeah, they're full.
Yeah. Anywho, it's good stuff. So
Trent, go ahead.
I will go next. My favorite reboot is also a movie, and it is X-Men First Class.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's
get you some of that bacon.
Right. That's less about Kevin Bacon. Although he did a good job as the villain, I thought. But X-Men kind of died a horrible Brett Ratner death with X3. And I thought it was done at that point and never coming back. But then the First Class movie just did such a good job with something of the original X-Men and pulling out some of the people we hadn't seen before, like Havoc and Angel and some of those other ones. It was really fun. I thought it did amazingly well.
Yeah, I'd agree with that analysis. It felt a little bit like strategically they were like, well, we now suck at doing sequels. We need to go do prequels.
Pretty much.
But I thought that the prequel was good, so it saves them a little bit.
And then they end up ruining the prequels.
Huh?
Nothing.
They will.
Which one are you talking about? Apocalypse?
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad.
It was pretty bad.
It was pretty bad.
It wasn't X-Men 3 bad, but it was pretty bad.
But Days of Future Past fixed X-Men 3, and so that's why I will love it forever.
But too bad they're never going to go back to that like prime.
I don't care.
Timeline and prime cast.
Jean is alive. That's all I care about.
Well, it's okay because Sansa's going to be Jean forever now.
Yeah.
The next movie's going to be all about her and Dark Phoenix again.
I think it's too soon. I don't think she can carry that movie. I'm really worried.
Yeah.
They haven't established Phoenix yet. How can they do Dark Phoenix already?
No, they established Phoenix at the end of Apocalypse.
That's not establishing. That is like teasing. There's so much to do with Phoenix as the good protection of the crystal.
More established than Venom is for Spider-Man.
Yeah, whatever. We need to
Venom
get off this
movie. Things are never going to be okay ever.
Never. Anyway, what's yours?
I am going to have to go with 2006's Casino Royale.
Yeah.
So I'm a Bond fan. Have been one since I played a Nintendo 64 game.
Golden Guns and
yep. I actually watched the James Bond Jr. cartoon as a kid. I think that was my first introduction to James Bond officially. And so
it was a cartoon?
Yeah, it was called James Bond Jr. It was like James Bond's nephew.
What the?
Yeah,
okay. It was an animated cartoon.
I'm sure it wasn't very good at all. But I loved it as a kid.
It doesn't matter.
But no, and I would have to say that actually my favorite Bond movie is GoldenEye. Not just because of the video game, but I thought it was a perfect mix of Bond campiness and seriousness.
GoldenEye.
I thought it took the best elements of the old James Bonds and brought it to a modern setting, so to speak. Even though modern is 1995 at this point, but it still feels modern when you watch it. Besides just the outdated computer interfaces.
Yeah, I mean, nothing beats tearing through the heart of a Russian city in a tank.
Yeah.
Pretty fantastic.
So I love it. But back to Casino Royale. After that movie, all of Pierce Brosnan's Bond movies jumped the shark. Pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
I still enjoyed them. I'll admit that, but they definitely weren't great movies.
I watched all of them because my mom thought Pierce Brosnan was hot. So
Typical.
So I may have watched them a couple times.
I remember having my mom take me to the theater to go see them, every single one after GoldenEye, and had to sit there awkwardly through the sex scenes when I was 13 with my mom.
Well, mom forgot to cover her eyes because she was so enraptured.
Yep. What were you gonna say, Trent?
I didn't hate Tomorrow Never Dies. The villain was super campy, but it had some good moments.
I thought the whole story was kind of campy and kind of out of nowhere, and what was going on, I don't know. It was weird. Like,
He's trying to start a war between China and UK.
And I'm a newspaper editor, and I write the articles before they come out. I don't know. But anywho, so Casino Royale I thought was exactly what Bond needed at that time. It was actually directed by the same director of GoldenEye, so kudos to that guy. But I just love the themes that it brought, and it put Bond on a whole nother level, and that quality has continued mostly through the rest of Daniel Craig's movies. So
I think the ones since Casino Royale have jumped the shark.
Really?
Cricket.
I mean, I thought no, I was just stunned because most people love Skyfall.
Skyfall was good. I do like Skyfall. I did not like Quantum Solace.
Quantum Solace was terrible
at all.
That was a writer's strike sucker. So
I can give him that then. I guess that's fair.
Most people hate Spectre, but I actually really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think I've seen Quantum 2 or 3 times, and I always fall asleep, and I always wake up like with everything's on fire, and I'm like, "What? Why? What's going on? What happened? Why did everything blow up?"
Oil and pipelines and water and stuff. So, but yeah. So Casino Royale.
Hold on, we can't move from this conversation yet because Atomic Blonde is coming out, and that really reminds me of that. How do you all feel about that? Because I'm really excited about it.
Falling asleep and waking up to fire.
Reviewers are saying it was the first female James Bond movie, and I think it looks phenomenal.
Right.
I'm excited.
Ryan, I missed your comment.
I said, is that movie going to contain falling asleep and waking up to fire?
I don't fall asleep as much anymore unless the movie's terrible, like Assassin's Creed.
Ooh.
Good call.
I started snoring during that movie. The people next to me were not pleased.
Someone was snoring during a movie I saw recently. I don't remember what, but I was getting pretty mad too. I think it was like Guardians of the Galaxy, literally.
Ooh.
Okay,
so
well, that's a bit unforgivable.
Yeah.
Unless they work like the night. I don't know. Whatever. That's fine.
It is unforgivable unless
reasons.
Unless good reasons.
Right.
Gotta cover yourself.
So there is a movie that we should all fall asleep to, and it's of course the Avatar sequels. One of our favorite go-to topics here on the podcast. If you loved your 3DS, you'll love the Avatar sequels because James Cameron is releasing them with glasses-free 3D technology.
That's right. Is it the same tech that the 3DS used?
Probably not exactly, but they probably work in similar fashions. I would imagine.
Crazy.
Ooh, I'm gonna have a headache. Yay! So does this mean we're not gonna? Is this still gonna take like a special projector of some kind? Or
yes. So James Cameron is literally using this as an excuse for theaters to put this technology in their theaters.
Wow, he's really up on like this whole
Damn, dude.
Forcing theaters to buy new technology, isn't he?
Well, they did better than Peter Jackson. I'm gonna film Hobbit in 60 frames a second. Everyone saw this and like, this sucks. We don't like this. And so no one did it.
I like The Hobbit. I thought it was fun.
In 60 frames?
I don't know. Is that what it was in?
No, they released two different versions. There was a 24. Oh no, it was 48. Sorry, it was 24 and 48 frame a second versions.
Oh, I have no idea.
Some theaters, and so no, lit. I don't know. I'm definitely PC Master Race. Love me some good frame rate, but watching a movie like that just was weird.
Huh. Yeah, whatever.
What was weird about it? Everything was too smooth, or what?
Yeah, like like that soap opera smooth feel.
Yeah,
it felt like that, or like a TV that uses that artificial like frame smoothing thing.
Yeah,
better than that because it was real 48 frames a second, but still it gave me the same feeling, and so it was just distracting the whole time. So
crazy.
But yeah.
So yeah, Avatar 2 and 12 million or however many he's coming out with are going to be in this crazy 3D projector. It said something about RGB lasers, laser projection.
Yeah, something like that. Special magic, unicorn powered.
Unicorn.
So, at this point, I went and saw Avatar because everyone's like, "Oh, the 3D, it's amazing." And I'm like, "Okay, this movie doesn't look very good, but I'll go see it anyway." Okay, the 3D, but that movie kind of sucked. So,
yeah. I'll admit I don't like a lot of 3D. I don't see anything in 3D now unless I can't help it. But
yeah, I wear glasses, so with glasses on, I mean, I'm not particularly excited about it because they have glasses, right? So I was a little bit hoping that this glasses-free 3D thing might actually work.
It's true. I do hate the glasses as the biggest part of not liking 3D. So if this becomes a thing, then that's cool, I guess.
Right. Feasibility, however, seems low just because he's got to convince people to have IMAX plus this other projection system plus their normal projection system. It seems a lot of investment for one movie.
Yeah.
But it's going to make $5 billion in the box office. It's going to be worth it, guys.
Maybe.
I don't know if you can have lightning strike like that again. We'll see. I'm not.
I mean, he's done it twice, right? Titanic and then Avatar? Multiple times.
True, but he's only pitched a new technology once that I know of.
Yeah, everyone's betting on his side. I'm part of some box office betting communities. I don't really participate, but I just watch.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone is on the side that no, this movie's gonna make bank, no matter what.
It'll be successful. It's just, is it going to be Avatar or Titanic successful?
People are thinking it's going to be top five all-time grossing. It won't beat Avatar 1.
Top 5.
Yep, top 5. I couldn't remember if it was top 10 or top 5, so I combine them to one word. Average it out to 7.
Top 7. Anyway, yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, we'll have to see it in person first.
Yeah, I think I might actually. If there's a Kansas City, because I'm in Kansas City, if there's a Kansas City area theater that has the glasses-free 3D, I'd be pretty tempted to go buy a ticket and see it, just because I can't watch 3D movies as they are now because of my glasses.
Yeah, that works.
So speaking of IMAX, I'm going to jump a different topic to be our next topic because it relates to this one. Who wants to buy an IMAX ticket to go see Inhumans?
Hooray!
An IMAX TV show.
Yes, for those of you who are not aware, the Inhumans TV show, which airs this fall on ABC, is showing their first 2 episodes in IMAX. So you could go pay $20 to go see the first 2 episodes of a TV show.
Man, it sounds like we're not excited about that at all.
It looks so bad.
I'm really happy that you felt that way, Trent.
What do you mean? Phase-shifting giant puppies? How can you not like that?
Okay, that was the one somewhat redeemable part of that trailer. Everything else is so cringeworthy. The facial expressions of the main character, who apparently doesn't talk because his voice
kills people.
Blows shit
up.
It looks terrible. I'm sorry. Who let this happen at Marvel?
Yeah, let's hire the guy who did Iron Fist and the last few seasons of Dexter to run our show. That works. That makes sense.
So here I thought Iron Fist was going to be the bottom of the barrel for Marvel television.
Keep scraping, Trent.
It's not the worst TV show I've ever seen, but it's not amazing. It's not Daredevil or Jessica Jones. But some of it was better than parts of Luke Cage, mainly the second half. But yeah, it looks like Babylon 5 production quality, but none of the redeeming features of I hope we don't have any really angry Babylon 5 fans all of a sudden, but
I'm going to be honest, I'm a sucker for superhero TV shows, so I won't pay for IMAX, but when it comes out on Netflix, I'll definitely give it a try.
Right.
Well, you have to tell me how it is, because I am not watching it.
I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it on TV. Probably on Hulu. I will not be going. I don't know.
I am gonna not watch it, and then
No.
only watch it after its season is done, because I think they're only doing like a half season for the fall until the winter break, and then Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is coming back afterwards, kind of like what they did with Agent Carter. So like if the whole season is done and it gets critically raved about, then I'll watch it. But
yeah, and I tell you what, if this thing is as bad as I think it is going to be, and it lasts more than 2 seasons, and they killed Agent Carter, I'm going to riot.
Agent Carter was so good.
Agent Carter was incredible, and this show looks like shiz. Anyway, so
this might be my first Marvel Cinematic Universe that I completely skip. And I'm not even mad, because it's not going to have anything to do with anything.
No, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. has proven that this is not going to connect in any way, because Kevin Feige wants nothing to do with the TV show stuff.
Yep.
Which is why this looks terrible, because he would look at this at a board meeting and be like,
what the hell is this?
So
when are they going to do more Star Wars TV shows? Not to go on a tangent, but when are they going to have like an ABC Star Wars show or a Netflix Star Wars show? We have Rebels, which is fantastic, don't get me wrong.
I want a Daredevil like Star Wars show,
right?
So incredibly bad.
Isn't Disney trying to keep a firm hold on the lore and that sort of thing? So I'm sure it's going to take a lot more time to come out with content.
Yeah, but they have a whole team at Lucasfilm called the Story Group that, that's their job to keep the whole story cohesive as one. And with literally new comics coming out every week, new books coming out every 2 or 3 months, and the TV show and movies and games that are being made, I don't think a TV show would.
But just turn the stuff from the video game 1313 that got canceled. Turn that into a Netflix show. That would be so good. Or like an HBO show, like Game of Thrones, and like have a little bit of like racy Star Wars. Like that'd be phenomenal.
Ooh. KOTOR Netflix series.
Oh my
God.
Trent's
brain melted.
Do you need a cigarette?
I almost need a cigarette. The idea of that would be so like. I need to like invade these meetings and be like, you need to do this. So much money.
So much money.
I will give you so much money.
I would pay so much money. Like I would subscribe to a Star Wars only subscription service to watch that show.
Not to go off on yet another tangent, off of our tangent, there's been a lot of talk of the Mass Effect DLC stuff and whether it's happening or whether it's not happening and yada, yada, yada. So, but people are kicking around the idea of like, okay, well, maybe we could convince, because I'll back up a little bit, but I won't spoil anything, but the end of Mass Effect Andromeda leaves, a good 2 or 3 large plot threads hanging, presumably for sequels and DLC, and with Mass Effect being iced for the foreseeable future, people are worried about these threads never getting addressed. And so people are really wanting at least one piece of story DLC to at least answer some of it. But we don't know if it's happening. And so people have kiddingly thrown around the idea of like, we should start a Kickstarter for Mass Effect DLC and just be like, here you go, here's a Kickstarter. We're, donate this money,
make it.
Donate this money and just give it to EA and be like, here, please make it. Please.
I mean, that's worked for games in the past.
Yep.
Like what? Shenmue didn't they?
Yep. Shenmue 3 was a Kickstarter.
Yeah. I mean, it's never done a AAA title before.
Shenmue technically is one, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Shenmue 1 and 2 were on the PlayStation 2, I believe. I think Dreamcast originally, and just the 2 ended in a cliffhanger and was never resolved, and so
right.
Sony.
But I mean, I don't know if I would classify it just because it came out on a console doesn't mean it was AAA.
True. But yeah, so
anyway,
tangent off a tangent off a tangent.
Inhumans? Boo.
Boo. Like I have the lowest bar of anyone that I know of what I will accept, and
makes me so happy that you admit that.
Huh?
Makes me so happy that you admit that.
Most of my shows are on the CW. If I didn't admit that, I'd be the least self-aware person in the world. So, and like this is below my bar. Like I love campy sci-fi. I mean, and maybe I will be hugely pleasantly surprised.
Wouldn't that be nice?
I would love it. I'm not gonna bet money on it.
Right.
So, anywho, enough about that.
Well, it's
talk
not
about-
a crappy show.
Yeah, let's talk about one of the best shows ever, apparently, that I haven't seen yet.
Yet, but Better Call Saul. Not much of a surprise to anybody. It's not super successful financially, but it's obviously a very, very critically well-received show. But Better Call Saul, it has been officially renewed for its fourth season now, which makes me very happy.
Yeah, you were saying that it hasn't been financially successful. I mean, it seems pretty anemic. It's only releasing a 10-episode season, right?
Yeah. It's been 3 seasons, only 10 episodes each, and it's kind of overshadowed on AMC by The Walking Dead, but yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, how do its numbers compare to other AMC shows?
Probably other AMC shows in general, it does pretty well, but again, we're comparing this to Walking Dead, which is like the #1 TV show
Ever.
period.
Right.
Have you seen Better Call Saul?
No, can you give me a fill-in of what we're talking about?
Oh boy, okay. Do you know
As brief as possible.
Okay, do you know Breaking Bad?
Brief.
Enough.
What do you know about it?
A guy is diagnosed with cancer, and he's a chemist, so he makes meth in order to pay for it, and then becomes a giant crime lord, and ends up becoming really badass and dying at the end. Sorry. If you haven't seen it by now, like,
I know, but I'm literally watching with Ryan right now.
no, sorry.
It's okay. That's all good.
He has cancer, Trent.
I mean, it could go in remission.
I'm just kidding. He may not be right, or there might be more of the story than Ted is.
Oh, there's way more of the story than I just gave you, but whatever.
But anywho, Better Call Saul is a prequel spin-off that is the main character of Breaking Bad's lawyer in the show. So he needs a lawyer who could kind of be a criminal as well to help him legally get through loopholes and stuff like that. So this is a prequel of that lawyer's story of Breaking Bad, so to speak, on how he became pretty honest, lawyer into the person we see in Breaking Bad. So, but it's as equally well written and well acted and good cinematography and everything like that as Breaking Bad, if not better at some points. Just depends. It's a kind of different style of show,
Sure.
But you could definitely tell they're brother and sister, so to speak. But it's very, very good. I'm sure you've never heard anyone say that Breaking Bad is like the best show ever.
But I'm pretty sure I have.
Yeah, but they're both good. You should watch them both. But watch Breaking Bad first, since it's over in only 5 seasons. And even though Better Call Saul is a prequel, just like the Star Wars prequels, it obviously alludes to things that happen later.
Right.
So.
Sweet.
It's on the list.
Cool. It has been listed. All right. So kind of in reference to what Trent mentioned, that some big news dropped after we record our podcast, but before we normally would record it. But the SNES Classic was announced. What do you guys think of the SNES Classic?
Are they going to make enough this time?
That's the question.
Zing. My only concern, I don't know how these re-releases work, but I just plugged in my N64 recently. It's an original N64, and it looks horrid on my TV. And that's because the TV has way too many pixels for it. And so all of the polygons are misshapen and everything's out of whack. And even when I change the resolution, it doesn't look right. So that'd be my main concern, is that our TV technology, if they're just re-releasing the same tech, then is that going to be an issue? Thoughts?
Sorry, I was actually sneezing while I had my mic muted. So
oh, sweet. Okay.
I'm going to respond right away. But for the NES Classic, at least, they do upscale it to 1080p and convert the image. And then they have filters that you could add. Like you could add like scan lines for CRT TVs in there, or kind of like blurring effects
to make you feel like you're on a CRT again.
Yes.
Wow.
So I'm assuming something like that will be the same thing on the SNES Class. Yeah. So there's a few notes that they said. I believe it comes out in September, if I'm remembering this correctly. Which the NES Classic came out in November last time around, the beginning of November. But they also said that they will only produce them through the end of 2017. So we effectively have 3 to 4 months to produce them.
Holiday season.
Yep.
So the answer to my question is no.
Right.
Yes.
They're not going to make enough.
That's correct.
So,
gotta keep demand high.
once again, Yes, this one does come with 2 controllers, and the cords are a reasonable length this time.
Woo.
The game list on there is pretty dang impressive. I mean, you have your usual good Nintendo games like Super Mario World and Zelda: Link to the Past, but then you also have killer third-party titles like Final Fantasy 6/3.
Ooh,
there too.
Also, do you see the thing about the unreleased Star Fox title?
Yep.
That's
right.
kind of exciting.
Yeah, Star Fox 2. It was in development around the time of the N64, and then it would have been released, a little bit after the N64's launch. And so Nintendo was literally like, "Why did we do this? Why did we make this game? No one's gonna buy this. We have a Nintendo 64 that could do graphics much better than this." And so they just didn't release it.
Huh.
And so, yep, it will be playable for the first time ever in legal form on the SNES Classic.
Oh, that legal stuff. Damn.
Yeah, it's been a ROM on the internet for a long time, but never legally playable. So yeah, I'll try to pick one up, but again, not for myself, because I own many copies of these games, and just don't need another way to play them for $80. But I'm going to try it, or I want to buy it specifically to pick up for my nephews and other family members who definitely have not played these games before and need an easily accessible way to play some of these classics. So
yeah, and for $80, that's not bad.
Yeah,
it's cheaper than hunting them down and trying to actually recreate the experience.
Yep, I concur. So we'll see if I get one. If not, that's okay too. But yeah, so there's been a lot of news in the industry as of late. We talked about it even on this show. Do you remember that Metroid 2 remake that got axed by Nintendo?
Yes.
Yeah, we talked about that a while back, which is funny because that Metroid game that I was all super excited about during E3 is a remake of Metroid 2. So they had even more legitimate of a reason to do it because they were literally making that exact thing at that moment.
Right. So we're talking about studios striking down fan-made games, right?
Is that what we're talking about? Yes, it is.
Okay. I was like, am I completely off?
I was taking a very roundabout way.
Oh, my bad.
There. So that's okay. You brought me back. But anywho, it's not very often that these kind of things get away with existing, so to speak. I remember the earliest one I can remember was there was a Chrono Trigger being made for GameCube by fans. Chrono Trigger remake with 3D graphics. That was one of the first ones I'd ever heard of, and I was very sad when it got shut down. But anywho, there's a fan base of Halo fans who are basically making a Halo game for PC. They're calling it Installation 01 after the first Halo ring. And it's not based off of any specific Halo game. It's like they're taking the best things from most of the Halo games that exist, Halo 1, 2, 3, and Reach, and kind of taking the best elements from each one, people's favorite parts of them, and kind of combining them into one Halo game. And they're going to release it for free on PC with online multiplayer and everything.
Damn.
So I hadn't even heard of this project before this news came up, but 343 Industries have given them their blessing to continue, using the Halo brand, so to speak, to create this, as long as they don't steal any assets. They have to build everything from scratch, and as long as they never sell it.
Wow. That's awesome. Do they have a timeline?
No. No, unfortunately not. But there's playable videos of the game being played, so I'd imagine it's not super far off. I'd imagine within a year or so.
Excellent.
That's
I'll have to keep an eye on that.
Yeah. I love me some original Halo. So
yeah, I mean, I usually side with the companies that shut these things down because it's their right to do so, and it's not the fans' properties. But if the company's cool with it, I'm all for it.
And I definitely agree with you. The companies have to protect their intellectual properties and come after them, because if they don't, then that can be used against them in a future date whenever they truly need to defend themselves.
On the other hand, if you deal with it appropriately, you can use the fan-made game or fan-made content for keeping up your brand, right? You can say it keeps the Halo in the front of the mind. It keeps it as a thought leader, as an FPS shooter game, right? FPS science fiction. It keeps everyone reminded, oh yeah, Halo, that game. I love that game, right? And so keeping it in front of your mind, it's free help if you appropriately maneuver it.
True, as long as it's not terrible.
That is fair.
At which point they probably will do a cease and desist. Be like, oh, this is terrible. We changed our mind. Get rid of this thing.
This thing is yeah. Anyway,
I was really looking forward to the end of that thought.
nope. I don't want an explicit tag on this episode, so we're gonna move on.
All right. Well, moving on. Guess what I got to play this weekend?
I am really mad at you about this, by the way.
I know. I didn't realize it ended today.
I didn't either, and I'm so mad at myself for not putting it in yesterday.
But I got invited to play the private alpha for Battlefront 2. I am technically under NDA, so I can't go too much into it. But I will say that I enjoyed what I played. I still suck at it. That hasn't improved over Battlefront 1, excuse me. But I do like the class system to where I'll be like, you know what, I'm sucking. I'm going to play support and just buff everybody else. And get points that way.
From what I saw, you weren't doing too terrible.
Not too terrible, but yeah, I was about even on the KD ratio.
And
that's pretty good.
But,
and what?
And you lost.
And we lost that game.
That I saw.
Yeah.
But no, from when I actually when I saw it on the podcast notes, I was like, oh yeah, so I went into my email and found it and went into Origin and plugged it in, and then I hit next and it said, Battlefront Alpha, and I'm like, yay, and I hit next and it's like, this code has expired, and I was like, no. Oh, it's so sad.
Yeah, our friend Chris messaged me today. It was like, oh, it's over. I'm like, oh, what? Really? Oh yeah, it only was like 3 days. Oh well.
That's lame. I mean, it's an alpha, so I mean, I'm sure there'll be a beta of some kind before it comes out in November. And
it was enough to tell me that the game is really fun still.
Good.
But kind of on the opposite end, that alpha gave everyone a greater look into how the game is going to work, not just in the gameplay, but how the credits and loot box system is going to work. Now, most people
hold up. Are you breaching?
Am I breaching
your NDA?
No.
Okay, continue.
I am referencing articles that have been written on the
Excellent.
internet.
I just want to make sure.
I thought there was some joke somewhere about breaching.
No.
Yeah, there's a joke going around about the clones. They're like, it's all clear. And the Darth Maul comes in, they go, not clear. That's become a meme, so I didn't know if it was something related to that. But anywho, according to lots of sources online, such as Eurogamer in this instance, we've kind of learned how the loot box system works. And, loot boxes aren't new to video gaming. The earliest one I could think of was like Mass Effect 3. Multiplayer did it. Overwatch does it now. Lots of people do it at this point. But, however, there are star cards that you could get that give you a distinct competitive advantage, such as I don't know any off the top of my head, but there would be an example would be like doubling your damage for your life or something, or for 5 minutes. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't think that's a real one, but it's something to that effect. Or like this, a certain attack has an extra 30% boost or a 50% cooldown now because you use this card.
Right.
Stuff that definitely gives you an advantage. And then of course, it being a game that's going to have no season pass and all downloadable content is going to be free, financially EA is looking to get all of their finances for post-launch support out of people spending their real-life money on these loot boxes. And so we need to know more details. I'll put that big asterisk there. And I'm sure maybe some things will change, especially after this backlash is kind of coming back at them right now. But as of right now, someone could drop, just a buttload of money and have tons and tons and tons of cards that give them a competitive advantage when they play versus other players.
That would suck.
Ouch.
Hopefully there's some kind of limiting system, like you can only have one card per game or one card per character or one card per class or, something to alleviate that.
Yeah.
But even then, you can have better cards versus worse cards, which...
Well, I really like your one card per game because, maybe with the amount of credits you could earn just through playing the game normally, you could buy at least one card, per game or have a large stack and then you use one per game.
Right.
or something that matter. But we'll have to see. It did kind of give me a little pause because I already suck at this game enough. And so having people out there who choose to spend a lot more money than I want to spend on it, with a even more competitive advantage, kind of be a bad thing. What do you guys think?
Honestly, if there's a pay-to-win aspect at all in a game, I don't even pick it up.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta hope they're not this dumb to let this make it into live, but it's EA, so I don't know.
What about the fact that this one comes with a single-player story campaign that looks pretty dang good?
I'm tempted.
Either one.
I mean, I'm definitely buying it no matter what. I mean, it's a Star Wars game. It has story in it, so... Yeah.
To be perfectly honest, I'm trying to restrict my game playing at this point, so I'm very choosy about which games I actually put my time towards. And a in-depth, good single player is something I'm going to be very tempted to purchase. But if it also has pay-to-win aspects on the multiplayer, kind of brings it down a little bit.
So that begs the question now. Trent, you said you're definitely going to buy it. Ted's a little kind of wait and see moment, but are you a day one purchaser, or are you a wait until reviews come out to say, hey, the single player story was really good, and or the microtransactions in the multiplayer aren't as bad as we feared?
For me, it's going to be day one. I probably will pre-order for the pre-order bonuses. It's Star Wars. I want them to keep making Star Wars games. So,
yeah, fair play. Fair play.
Yes. I mean, I want them to make like a Star Wars RPG next, please. like Skyrim.
Well, hopefully Battlefront takes a couple of years off again after this one, because we all know that Amy, I don't remember her last name, the person who made Uncharted, she's working for Visceral, making what seems like a very Uncharted-esque Star Wars game. We know that BioWare has something Star Wars going on, as well as Respawn, the makers of Titanfall, making something Star Wars related.
Yes.
So there's a lot of Star Wars games being made, so it's time for a non-Battlefront.
It's time for them to start coming out.
Right.
We've been hearing about these games since EA got the licenses.
Yep.
I want my 1313 already.
You're never gonna get it.
Never gonna get it. Anyway, it's gonna happen eventually. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be glorious.
It's gonna be a comic book, and you don't read those.
Ooh.
I do too. I just haven't read them in a long time. It's becoming such a bigger investment.
Which is why you
It
need
really
to
is.
keep up.
There's so many of them.
That's why you need to keep up.
I know. I need to stop. I need to stop trying to read the novels and just read the comics instead, because the comics are actually good.
Oh.
Because I definitely feel you. Like when that Jin Urso book that just recently came out, Rebel Rising, I think it was called. When it came out, I was like, I don't freaking want to read this right now. I'm not in the mood for a teenage Jin Urso origin story.
Yeah.
But I did it anyways because I'm like, I gotta be always caught up. A, so I can not worry about spoilers, and B, so the pile doesn't get bigger, so to speak.
Yeah, my pile's getting bigger.
It actually wasn't bad, by the way. I don't think I ever talked about it, but it was actually pretty good.
So I want to know, out of 5, what would you give it?
3.5. 3.
Really?
3, maybe 3.
Wow, that's not bad.
Pretty low.
I mean, considering that Rogue One and Catalyst are 2 of my favorite Star Wars novels of the new canon.
Honestly, they all 3 fit together really well. If you could put all of them into one book that starts, with Galen's origin story and then, ends with the first scene of Rogue One and then goes into Jin's story, and then again, not really spoilerish, but the book ends as they're breaking her out of prison.
Right.
So, and then just continue on through Rogue One from there. It'd be a very, very, very good, well put together story.
That sounds okay. Yeah, that's jumping up my list at the moment, I think.
You still have.
I know.
I think that Bloodlines needs to be one of your priorities right now, because A, it stars Leia as the
true.
main character. B, it only takes place a few years before Force Awakens, and so it's the most relevant for the new trilogy.
Okay. Have I talked this on the show about the Carrie Fisher memoirs that I read?
I don't think so.
So good. I listened to the audio of Princess Diarist, which is her most recent, and Wishful Drinking, and she does the audio for both of them, and they are phenomenal. If you like Carrie Fisher and her humor and want to know more about like her life and her insane life, by the way, they are phenomenal reads. So I could not recommend them more highly.
You're a phenomenal read.
Oh, thanks.
But yeah, so check those out. Spider-Man comes out on Friday, you guys.
Spider-Man!
And it's getting good reviews.
I'm so excited.
People are really liking it. That makes me happy.
I think I'm going like Thursday night.
I'm going on Friday.
Ha! I will spoil everything.
All right. I'll use my Star Wars knowledge against you.
No, I take it back. You excited about Spider-Man, Ted?
I'm going to be honest. The past Spider-Mans I've been not that excited for. And then when I went and saw them, I was like, yep, I was correct. They're just getting their copyright again. So I'm sorry. I'm going to be the downer here, but I know everyone's going to like it. And I don't know. I'm just a little bit on the fence.
Boo.
I didn't like Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2 either, Ted.
Shun the non-believer.
So did you like Spider-Man 2 or did you include Spider-Man 1 and 2 in your thoughts, Ted?
Yeah, it was really both of them. I went and saw them and I was like, this is
No, I mean the original like Tobey Maguire Spider-Man 1 and 2.
Yes, those were included.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Ouch.
Well, boo on you then. No, that's fine.
I liked the Amazing Spider-Man better than. Well,
Maybe you know what? I'm gonna be honest. Maybe I just don't like Spider-Man. That could be it.
How can you not like Spider-Man?
As a character, he's not exactly thrilling. I don't know.
He's the everyman hero.
Yeah, he's probably one of the most interesting superheroes because his story is about half Spider-Man and half Peter Parker, like almost literally.
There's a really good video. I'll send it to you. He kind of talks about why Spider-Man resonates with people so much.
Is it Captain Cartersan?
Maybe.
I love that video.
I don't know. Probably. Did you share it with me? I don't know. Maybe.
I don't know what's going on.
The internet is a thing.
I just work here.
Right? Anyway, it's good stuff. So.
Well, that sucks for you.
I know.
Not that I feel bad. Not that I say that your opinion is wrong, because it's not. But I do feel bad that.
But according to the majority, it's wrong. So
I just feel bad that you can't be excited and enjoy the movie like the rest of us. So.
No. Your opinion is wrong, and you should feel bad.
Or maybe this will be the one to change everything. You never know. So.
Maybe.
It is getting really good reviews. And you like Iron Man, right?
I did.
And Iron Man's in this.
Yeah, as weird as it sounds, I feel like Tony Stark is more relatable.
Huh.
Are you a drunk asshole?
Yeah.
There goes our explicit rating.
That's okay.
Damn it.
In the words of Maggie, my girlfriend, she's like, "Nah, ass isn't a cuss."
Oh, I mean, Ted is like a scientific genius.
Thank you. Just because I'm currently working on virtual reality experiences that deal with using brainwaves as input doesn't actually make me a scientific genius.
Okay.
You're totally going to turn into a supervillain.
Right,
by the way.
Right? First off, you're a metallurgist, right?
Yes, that is correct.
I want everyone to know. So he can he's basically an alchemist.
Damn it, I was about to say I'm not an alchemist.
Yes. But no, he just to kind of, tout him for a minute, he's working on VR stuff that uses your brain signals as the controller.
Correct.
Which is super cool.
Yeah, it is very cool. The first time I moved something with my mind was mind-blowing. Not gonna lie.
Mind-blowing. Now just imagine you could actually become Doc Ock because you could like mind control those.
Like I
things
said,
on
he's
your
gonna be a
back.
supervillain. You heard it here first on Brief Nerdy, folks.
He's gonna like bust in with his evil superpowers. Like, have you met Ted? Like,
Oh God, no!
That's your catchphrase.
I'm calling it right now.
Uh,
Anyway,
well, what'd you think of 1995's Kristen Dunst starring Jumanji, Ted? If you didn't like her in
Jumanji.
Spider-Man, did you like her in Jumanji?
Wait,
That was
Kirsten
one
Dunst
with
was Jumanji.
Kristen Dunst, yeah, she's the girl.
Robin Williams, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I think I
don't believe
you said it was 95.
It was 1995.
I was a little young when it came out.
Yeah, Ted.
I was 3, so.
And yet you're smarter than both of us combined.
Right?
So
I was 10 when this movie came out.
from what I remember, it was pretty good. I mean, I like Robin Williams every time I see him. So
it's a beloved classic.
Right.
Holy crap! It is Kirsten Dunst.
I can't believe you didn't know that. I saw Spider-Man 1. I was like, hey, it's a Jumanji girl.
I did not. Had she made Bring It On by that point? Because I think I might have said, hey, it's the Bring It On girl.
I'm sure she did.
No, I think Bring It On came out afterwards because I actually remember that show.
I love that movie.
Well, anywho, there's a trailer for a new Jumanji, and I'm gonna be honest, like the first 30 seconds of the trailer like got me good. I was like, ooh, it's a video game now? That's kind of cool. But then they get sucked into the TV, and then Jack Black plays a teenage girl, and
yeah. And The Rock plays a white kid, and it had a great premise and a great start. I don't know why they didn't just bring those kids into the game, or have like high school looking versions like they did with Secret Service? Well, what's the spy movie that The Rock and because it's the same two guys.
Yeah.
What is his
The
name?
Rock and Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart.
That's it.
They did like high school
Central Intelligence.
There it is.
Central Intelligence. They did like high school CGI version of them for high school.
Yeah.
Why didn't they just do that for these characters that are
The whole movie?
Yeah, they have to do it for the whole movie rather
That'd
than
be
a 2-minute scene.
expensive, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
No. They wouldn't have to do it for the whole movie, just until they get sucked into the game, and then they become their like adult avatar versions in Jumanji.
But then you can't have Jack Black doing the Snapchats.
It looks so
you
bad.
could have Jack Black doing the Snapchats. He was just into Snapchat when he was in high school. I mean, it still translates.
But
I mean, I can tell what they're trying to do, but just it looks really cringeworthy to me.
And here's a question for you guys that I thought was a interesting post question. If this movie did not have the Jumanji name, would you still think it looked terrible? Like if it's completely original story just with the trailer that we got.
Yeah,
I think that I would not have watched the trailer to begin with.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I mean, the production quality is really like good. Like the
Really
action
high.
stuff is really cool looking. The girl, like the nerdy girl who becomes like the action hero chick, like some of the moves that she does looks really cool. And so like that part of it seems fun. I'm really worried the humor is just gonna be super cringeworthy, like Baywatch-esque bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, Dwayne Johnson's in like a boatload of movies recently.
Yeah, for real.
He's just churning them out.
Yeah, apparently he's going for the quantity over quality method,
The Nick Cage approach.
right? As long as he
Except they're
doesn't,
all A movies.
as long as he doesn't like yell about bees, we'll be fine.
The bees!
But yeah, I will probably see it. It definitely will not be an opening night, and it may be like a Netflix watch. But I'll probably see it
Eventually.
eventually. Like Baywatch wasn't eventually for me.
Well, guess what I'm going to be seeing on July 30th?
I have no
What?
idea.
the season premiere of Rick and Morty season 3, y'all.
Ooh.
I'm Pickle Rick.
Meh. I haven't seen it. It's one of the shows Ryan's going to make me watch. So
Yeah.
maybe I'll get more excited in the future. But it's.
But then you'll already have it to watch, so that's okay. It's all good.
My excitement is coming for the next story. But let's talk about Rick and Morty for a minute still. I mean, do you want
We don't talk about much, but Ted, do you watch Rick and Morty?
I don't watch Rick and Morty, but I do see enough of it on the internet to get the gist.
I'll just be excited by myself then.
You gotta get swifty.
Show me what you've got.
I mean, yeah, it's one of those shows that has kind of like seeped into pop culture, and so you kind of just are aware of it in general.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, like especially with like the Szechuan sauce thing,
Yeah.
Right.
which was incredible and a good move by McDonald's. But yeah,
Oh boy, can do. I don't know. I love me some Rick and Morty. So I love a line they say in the season 3 trailer that released this week. It was like, only a show this smart can be this stupid.
that's pretty good.
Yep.
I like self-aware comedy shows. So maybe I like this one.
Hopefully you do. I'll have you watch a handful of episodes, like maybe 5, and if you don't like it by then it'll be good.
Sounds like a plan.
But all right, go on with your television news for the week that you're so excited to get to.
Okay, so we've talked at length about Sense8's cancellation and how sad and pissed that I was. But this week, Netflix announced that they have greenlit a 2-hour series finale to allow the story to be wrapped up. And I am so excited.
And there is
Yeah.
much rejoicing. Yeah.
Oh, the internet like went crazy. I saw it everywhere. Like 8 people messaged me on Facebook. It's like, have you seen this? And I'm like, yes, I've seen it. Stop.
The internet, all 8 of them.
All 8 of them.
All 8. That's pretty exciting. Has Netflix done something like this before?
I'm happy to know all the internet listens to our podcast.
Yep, all of the internet.
All 8 of them.
No, because this is one of the first shows that they've canceled of theirs. So
I see.
this is all kind of uncharted water, I guess.
That works.
And I think it makes sense for Netflix because it's not a huge investment, and it allows them to have a complete show on their library that doesn't just end randomly, which was my big worry going into this. So we talked about in the past, like if they hadn't ended it, would they still keep it on Netflix? Because it's just this random 2-season show that doesn't end. But now,
Or does it?
But now it's got a finale set, and so
yeah, I'm excited. So it'll be next year. They said it'll release sometime 2018. So
awesome.
# Justice for Wolfgang. I'm excited.
You millennials, you and your hashtags.
That's right.
Fear the hashtag.
We take computer programming and we put it into
Social media.
our social media.
Social media.
Social media.
So
All right.
I'm excited.
I'm excited for you.
Thanks. And you have less of a reason not to watch it now.
Yeah. It's
You're
all
like,
a
"Oh,
list.
it doesn't end, so I'm not going to watch it now. And I'm like, now you have to watch
does.
it. Because season
I guess now I have to watch it.
Because season 2 is phenomenal, and I think it's some of the best television I've ever seen. So if you have not seen it, you all who are listening to my voice right now should watch this show.
You're phenomenal.
All right, it's on the list.
Thanks. Ted's like, man, my list is just going to be so big after this.
My list has like quadrupled while I've been here.
If you want to watch more shows, join the Brief Nerdy podcast crew.
Yeah.
We have all the best shows.
I tell you everything to watch.
All right. What have you been watching recently, Trent?
Let's see. Since we last talked, the RuPaul's Drag Race season finale happened, and I was happy with the winner. Although I wasn't really happy with the way the winner was chosen. But since no one else in this podcast really probably cares, I'll skip forward. Shut up. Big Brother 19 started, and it's really fun. I'm enjoying it a lot so far. Shut up. You're so rude.
Brutal.
Just kidding. I love you.
There's people here that like Big Brother. You shut your mouth. I mean, not like maybe not either of you, but I know we have listeners that do. So, and then I'm almost caught up with the Arrowverse. I think I've got like 16 episodes left.
Damn.
Something like down from the 40 something I had when I first tried to catch back up.
It's like the Star Wars stuff. You just can't let it pile on, or it's just
I know.
a Herculean task.
I've learned my lesson. So, are you still watching are you going to keep watching Arrowverse next year?
For now.
Okay. Ted, do you know what I'm talking about when I say the Arrowverse?
I know about Arrow, like the Green Arrow.
Okay.
And my wife watches the Green Arrow. I'm not sure how caught up she is, but she just watches the Green Arrow, not anything else related to it.
My wife.
It's recent. I'm still getting used to it.
Oh boy, you brought the Borat. You unleashed the Borat into the podcast.
I love that line.
Borat cannot be contained.
I've never seen one of his movies, but like I just can't resist. Every time someone says my wife, it goes into my head. But no, so it's like there's 4 CW shows that all exist in the same quote unquote universe. Well, it's not quote unquote, it's the same universe.
Not Supergirl.
Arrow, Flash, they're in the same multiverse.
That's why I had to do the quote unquote. You were right the first time.
That's true. But yeah, so Arrow, Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, and Supergirl all have crossover episodes with each other.
Yeah, we watched The Flash a bit.
Nice.
I was pretty pissed off at the end of the 3rd season, I think, so I stopped.
Yes, I haven't gotten there yet.
Okay, so I won't say anything. I got pissed off.
Thanks.
That's what you get.
That seems to be the general vibe from people, that it's awful.
Unacceptable.
It's not just the end, like just the whole season was terrible.
Yeah.
I still haven't gotten to the point where I'm hating everyone yet, and it only has like 6 episodes left.
# Team Savitar.
Ryan wants the villain to win.
Kill all of them.
Awesome.
All of them need to die.
I really liked the villain in the most recent episode. He was super campy as the magician named Abracadabra.
Oh God.
From the 64th century or something ridiculous. But he made me think of my friend Eric, who likes magic tricks. That's like what Eric would be if he had like crazy nano like futuristic technology to do his magic with. Like he would become a super villain like that. I'm pretty sure. So, I've really been liking Arrow, and Legends of Tomorrow is decent-ish, better than the first season.
It's a good description of it.
Mainly, like the villains are like really carrying the season.
Yeah, but
I don't know how much like the Spear of Destiny is involved in the actual like DC world, but it's feeling very religious-y right now, which is not really my thing, but it's still fun. So and it's almost done. I have 1 episode left of it, so yeah, there you go. So that's kind of what I'm watching at the moment, and I'm almost done with the 1st season of Breaking Bad with you.
Woo!
That's that.
Sorry to spoil it. Dumbledore dies.
That one I knew. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father.
No, you're lying.
No.
That's not true.
It's impossible. Anyway, what are you guys watching?
Go ahead, Ted.
Okay, so I recently just caught up on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. actually today.
Yeah,
without spoiling it for Trent, because he hasn't watched it yet.
It's next on my list.
Okay, I won't spoil it then.
But I also recently caught up too. So
basically, for those of you who have watched, I thought it was really pertinent to what I've been working on that I referenced earlier in the podcast. And I thought that was really cool and really hit home. So anyway, I actually also finished like within the last 2 months, Merlin. You guys know that show from fucking ages ago?
Yes, the British show, right?
Yeah, it's
I'll
on
let
Netflix.
you nerd out for a bit.
Yeah, it's on Netflix, and I just finished it up, and it was good. It was good.
Yeah.
The thing I liked about it is that overall like at the end of an episode, I'm like, that was nice. I don't have to watch the next episode because it's not like cliffhanger. Right. It's like I kind of tied it up a little bit. Okay, we can move on. So it was nice in that way that I could just It was episodic. Weird.
I know. It's
That was
so
nice.
so unique nowadays.
Right? God.
Yeah, I loved that show. I watched it. I think I was in college when it was going live, and I would download it when it was available. And
Yeah, I remember that because that was my only knowledge of the show, was that you watching it while we were roommates in college.
it's really good. I mean, it's not like must see TV, like best show ever.
No.
But it's pleasant. It's feel good. It's fun.
Yeah,
it's good.
You're good.
And you should hear the main character talk in his Irish accent. It is amazing.
Where does he talk in his Irish accent?
Yeah, when he does interviews.
Oh,
Because he's Irish.
okay.
I'll send you.
Yeah.
a video.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, I haven't watched a whole lot. Like I promised TJ that I would begin The Leftovers, and I have. I've watched 2 episodes of that so far.
And
What are your first thoughts?
Like it. It's a little weird at first, but weird could be good.
I think that's our episode title right there. Weird could be good.
Weird could be good. There we go. Well, I mean, just like things are happening, you're not sure why they're happening, and so and I'm assuming they're going to be more explained because it just kind of shows some characters, something happens, and then it says like 3 years later, and then like the world is different.
Oh,
And so you're like, okay, I need to fill in the blanks, like what's been going on, kind of thing.
Huh.
So I obviously I don't know anything right now because I'm only 2 episodes in, and I don't want to spoil anything for you guys if you ever plan to watch it. But yeah, so far I'm interested, and I have characters I like, characters I hate, and I definitely want to see where the story goes.
nice.
So it's
Pretty good.
not quite what I expected, but I'm pleasantly surprised and looking forward to continuing it. So thanks for that, TJ. And also to your guys' recommendation, kind of your unknowing recommendation, I also started Bob's Burgers.
Yes.
2 episodes into that as well. They're episodes I haven't seen before because I gave like 5 episodes a shot when it first started, but I wasn't too into it, so I stopped. But of course that was like 7 years ago, so I'm giving it another chance and giving me some Bob's Burgers. So far it's
That's
okay.
nice of you. I don't give shows another chance. When I stop, I'm done.
Well, when the show like goes like 7 or 8 seasons now, and especially when it's an animated show, it's easily digestible, and then just like it's everywhere. Like people talk about it all the time. Coworkers talk about it and quote it and stuff. And so I'm just like, I guess I need to give them their shot. I guess it's funny, actually.
So what I'm hearing is you have the media version of FOMO.
Yes.
Sure.
Fear of missing out.
Right. Partially. I mean, I guess, but I wouldn't say it's really that in this case, just because, I love me some adult-oriented animated cartoons.
Oh, okay.
And just because I didn't like the first 5 episodes, that's kind of hard to judge an entire show based off of,
5 episodes. You give a show that many?
Yeah.
Damn.
So
I give it 2.
Wow. I give a show its entire first season and then some before I write it off completely.
You guys have stamina.
Unless it's thanks. I know, unless it's like really, really bad. I'm trying to think of an example of a show that I was like, nope.
and again, you have the lowest bar ever, so
I know.
nothing pretty bad.
Well, I know one that I did drop was Rain on the CW, but because I thought it was like all the talk was that it was going to be canceled, and so I didn't hate it, but it wasn't like really pulling me in, and so I started watching it, and I'm like, oh, it's going to be canceled. I don't want to get pulled into this and then not be able to finish it.
Rain. That's the political show in like the 16 or 1700s.
Yeah, it's like Mary Queen of the Scots, I think, her story.
Yeah.
Sorry
Sorry if I got the centuries wrong, audience. My bad.
But no, I mean, so that's an example of a show. Like if all the talk is that it's going to be canceled, then I won't go into it because then I don't want to get committed to something that I can't finish, like the Rothfuss novels that all my friends want me to read.
Oh, don't read them. They're too good.
Just freaking write the 3rd one, and I will read it.
Right, exactly.
Anyway,
it's like you getting me. If I could talk, it's like you getting me into Aragon, Trent.
It's not my fault.
Yes, it is. It is
I
totally
didn't know. I didn't know any better at the time. I still haven't finished that book series.
Really? Ah,
Yeah.
I hate you so much. Aragon.
Sorry, the fourth book. I couldn't. It was
It's
so
terrible.
bad. It's so bad. Like the first two were a magical fluke, and the third one just started coming off the rails, and the fourth one he might as well just been on acid or something. Like he cannot finish a story.
It just made me so mad.
Anyway, random Aragon rant for everyone in the audience.
At least it wasn't the movie. Am I right, folks?
Well,
You're right.
And then you also told me that the audio version is terrible, so I don't read physical books as much anymore, and so the chances of me going back to it are so slim.
Yeah, just don't. It's not worth it. He beats the bad guy, doesn't get with the elf. The end.
Rude.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. That sounds like how he would end it, and that's terrible. F that guy.
Yep.
Anyway, let's talk about some video games we've been playing lately.
For me, like you said, I played Battlefront 2, but other than that, I've been playing Horizon Zero Dawn, and I am very unhappy to report that's very meh for me.
Oh,
That's too bad.
I'm sad.
See, like I kind of talked to you a little bit of this earlier, Trent, but I'm gonna do that. It's not me, it's you, or it's not you, it's me, kind of thing to Horizon here, because it's a very good open world game. So it's a standard, I would say, open world game with a good skin on it, and an interesting environment and an interesting story wrapped around it. But good God, am I sick of the open world game format? Like the climb the tower, filling your map with random crap to do. Side quests be like, here, I lost my bow in the woods. Can you go find my bow for me? Here, I'll just craft you another bow. No, this is a special bow that my mom gave me. I need you to go get it.
Yeah, it's a little rehashed at this point.
So like, I'm just kind of done, and the combat isn't super interesting. I mean, it's kind of just standard bow and arrow affairs, and I was telling Trent about this as well. I got kind of screwed, and it made me really mad. It kind of started me off in the wrong way because through the whole first maybe 5 to 10 hours of the game, I was like specking myself out completely with like stealth because I love playing stealthy in games like that. And then it put me at one point in a room with a giant robot boss fight, and there's nowhere to hide. It was zero stealth. It was 100% like combat oriented. So I was getting the snot beat out of me and dying over and over again because not only like is it just the giant monster, like he spawns like 5 or 6 little monsters or little robots, when the battle begins. So I'm like, oh, I gotta take care of all these different things, and he shoots giant fireballs, and they have AoE effects, and yeah, just like, and I eventually beat it, but it was frustrating, and it wasn't a good way for me to start the game. And then just again the open world combat, and picking up every single twig you find on the ground so you can craft more arrows for your bow and arrow. I'm just like, again, like the game isn't a bad game at all, but I personally am so fatigued on the open world formula that it was not the right time for me to play it, so to speak.
I was at your house this weekend visiting.
What? Where was I?
Maggie and I didn't want to tell you. You were left out. No, but I saw you playing, and you like zoomed in on the map and showed me all of these things that are like available for you to go and do. The map is covered with all these like tiny little errands and like nonsense, and like one of the categories of things is actually called errands.
Yep.
Oh,
and
Christ.
I was like, F no, like no, like every kind of no.
Yeah.
It looked like way too much. For me, the best open world formula is still like the Fallout 4, Skyrim, Oblivion style, where they give you a few things to go and do, and then as you're traveling the world, things happen kind of more naturally, rather than you've climbed this tower. There are now 5,000 things for you to go pick up. Like, I blame Assassin's Creed for that.
Yeah, I mean, Assassin's Creed started, and this year, Mass Effect Andromeda did it again. I recently played Far Cry Primal, which probably didn't help much as well. And just like I need a good, just like not on rails, but a good linear story-based game to play to cleanse my palate.
I'd recommend The Witcher 3, but you've already played it. So
yes, and that's very open worldish, and probably wouldn't help right now either. As much as I did like that one, again,
but at least the things you went around and did weren't super annoying.
Yeah,
I
need like an Uncharted right now, just play through it. Good story and fun game.
There you go.
So,
speaking of Witcher 3, what I've been playing recently is actually Gwent, which is the card. It's like a mini game in Witcher 3 that the developer, now I can't remember their name, Project Red, is making into like a collectible card game, like Hearthstone and all these other games are coming out.
Nice.
It's right now. It's in public beta. So if you want to download it, you can type in Gwent, Gwent, and you download it free and you log in, whatever, and you play it. And basically what I'm liking about it is that it's not a Magic the Gathering ripoff. Like all the other games we've seen recently, like Hearthstone and those kinds, right? There's a mana system and you basically try to kill the other player, right? Whereas this game, the format is entirely different. You play one card per turn and you only have 10 cards out of your deck of 25. So your deck is 25, you draw 10 cards, and you play 3 rounds, and you only get those 10 cards. So the goal is to amass your army strength. So you're basically you're adding up the numbers of strengths on your cards, and the cards, of course, have different abilities when they come out, and et cetera, interactions and such. But the goal is to have more army points or strength than the opponent at the end of the round. And the end of the round occurs when both players have passed. And so you have to choose to pass at some point during the round. And so it's kind of a when do you decide to give up this round, or I'm ahead, so I'm going to force you to either spend more cards that you don't want to spend in order to win this round, or you lose this round. So it's that kind of interesting kind of balance. And then the goal is to build your deck in order to achieve that goal.
So I have a confession. Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned.
That's okay.
I put over 100 hours into Witcher 3.
Oh, God.
And I skipped the F out of everything Gwent related.
That's probably best if you're playing Witcher 3 for Witcher 3. I mean,
yeah.
Because I think like in the very, very first town and like the very, very first pub, like you could play Gwent, and I played like 3 rounds, and I'm just like, I don't like card games. And I'm one to like never got into Magic. I'm not into Hearthstone or anything like that. So I was just like, I sucked at it, but I was just like, nope, not doing this anymore. And so I'd be questing and 80s hour of the game, and someone's like, oh, I need you to go play this guy in Gwent and get my mother's bow back. And I'm like, nope.
God damn, that person's losing their mother's bow a lot.
Right? So like anything Gwent related just got lost in my question.
And that's totally fair, because when I'm playing any of those Witcher games, I'm like, all your mini games, I don't want to play a mini game. I want to be slashing monsters. I want to be being a Witcher. I don't want to be playing a dice game or a Gwent.
Yep.
Yeah, I totally get that.
I've never liked mini games in those kind of games before.
Yeah,
I'm right there.
I liked Fable 2's pub games.
Yeah,
they were fun.
Oh my God, I have to like Fable 2. Whew.
Yeah,
going back in the memory bank.
Take you back.
Yeah, right.
One thing it did cool that at the time, and maybe that might be influencing my opinion on Fable 2, but they released a free downloadable game on the Xbox 360 called Fable 2 Pub Games.
Really? You could just play those? Yeah,
you could just play those games, but you would earn money for your character in Fable 2 when Fable 2 came out. I think they released it like 3 months before Fable 2 came out, so you could download that game and then play the games there to earn money, and your character would start with that money when they start the game. So it gave you incentive to play. So that made it fun, I think.
Yeah. I've also I loved Magic back in, I think I started playing it like in elementary school. It's an old game.
Nerd.
Still going strong.
It's fantastic. It's got a very solid formula. and I think you're right. It's all these other games are falling into the trap that other MMO creators did for a long time in trying to like outdo World of Warcraft in being World of Warcraft.
Right.
And it's funny because Blizzard is one of the companies that's trying to do this to Magic.
Yeah, and it's
like you guys saw them do this to your game. Like you should be smarter than this, but they're not. And yeah, it's funny they're doing that with that game and with Heroes of the Storm. But,
right.
Yeah, Blizzard is like they're killing it with Overwatch right now, and WoW is doing pretty well. But the other properties are struggling, in my opinion.
Well, in your opinion, what games have you played this week, Trent?
Well, I want to hear Ted talk about Overwatch first.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Speaking of Overwatch, yeah, I'm really liking it, and I really appreciate what changes they've made. They're really paying attention to the community. Things like, if we want to get into specifics, things like the Symmetra rework was huge. Like I really liked Symmetra as she was, but like the change into more of a she's got more to do now instead of just being like, yep, I set up my turrets and I'm gonna sit here with my turrets, right? She's got more to do, and that's good. And it's good that they're taking the nerf bat, but they're not doing like what they are with Hearthstone, just like beating the snot out of whatever needs to be nerfed, right? Like with Roadhog, for example, they recently nerfed him, so that now his hook isn't a one-shot kill. Normally what happens is he's got this pole like Stitches or any of those other kind of characters, tanky characters that they have grab and pulls a character towards them. And he's also got a shotgun. So you pull a person towards them and boom, headshot, dead, right? So they nerfed that because that was just ridiculously OP. Every 6 seconds he gets a one-shot kill. Like that seemed unnecessary. So they nerfed him, but they didn't like completely take him out. So instead what they did, they gave him an extra shot on his clip. So now I realize every 5 shots instead of 4, and he's increased his attack speed. So theoretically, you can pull the person and hopefully get off 2 shots. But if it's a tracer or something like that, then they're going to be a little bit slipperier, right? So, right, it's nice that they aren't just completely nerfing someone out of usability, and they are paying attention to their community and the needs of that. So I think it's really great that they're doing that.
Nice.
Yeah,
I agree. I don't play it a ton, but I jump in every now and then when there's like a community event going on. Because I have a bunch of friends that play, and so they'll be like, "Hey, there's this thing going on. You should come play with us." And so I get pulled in, and it's pretty fun.
It is fun.
I've played on the 2 free weekends, but I suck at it.
Fair enough.
Because you're usually really good at first-person shooters, like Titanfall, for example.
Well, I wonder if it's just because it's a free weekend and I'm a noob and I'm hopping in, and I don't know if they put me with other noobs or not. But
well, see, I don't play very often. And I think the thing that I love about Overwatch is that you can play to your strengths. Like, I am not good at first-person shooter games. I'm really not. But I'm good at strategy and understanding how the objectives work. And so I am, like, Winston is my, like, he's my go-to.
Right, because you don't have to aim at all.
Right. You don't have to be good at aiming. You just have to understand how his mechanics work and that you're supposed to jump at them, at their people, and go berserk. And I was like, I can do that. Sold. Done. And so, like, it's really fun for me because, like, I will never play a Soldier 76, right?
Oh God, right? Because you got to actually aim. Like,
right.
No.
Yeah, so I'm terrible with him. I'm terrible with McCree. Anyone that you actually have to point and shoot with. So I'm good at the healers and I'm good with the tanks, and that makes it super fun for me because I'm not a good Twitch, shooter.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. And the ability to be switching characters mid-round, like you're not stuck with the person that you picked, or you can change team comp. Now, theoretically, it's awesome and it's lovely, and I use it as much as I can. It doesn't happen as well as it should.
Yeah, because there's too many people play one character only and they never switch out.
Right. And so that kind of communication can be tricky.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's the balance of any team game is communication.
Right. And it's probably the fact that I play it with a core group of people and I don't really have to play with strangers that much probably helps a lot.
Yeah, that helps a lot. Even if you have just a pair of people, like with you have your duo queuing, like just that really makes the whole experience a lot better.
Yeah, I'll try to give that a shot because I did only play with strangers on the free weekends. So.
Oh God, no!
Yeah,
Don't do that.
You should come play with me.
Yep, next time We'll have to queue up.
I'll be your pocket mercy.
Woo!
She's a healer. So cool. So let's see. What have I been playing? Since I was without internet for a lot of the last week and a half, I was playing a lot of Pokemon Sun again because I took my 3DS and my Switch with me on my vacation. And as I expected, the campground for the reunion had very spotty internet. So I played a lot of Pokemon Sun and a little bit of Zelda Breath of the Wild, enough to get murdered by the lightning arrows lizard people again. But I'm a little bit closer to that water temple thing or whatever it is. The
Sora's domain.
Yeah, that guy.
That
Nice.
guy.
That guy.
I'm sorry, I missed the Pokemon Sun. How many Pokemon are there now?
I don't even know.
Are we in the 1,000 yet?
I'm going to Google it. I
I
don't think we're in the
so.
1,000 yet.
I think we're in the 700s.
Let's see. Number of Pokemon.
Last time I seriously picked it up was still like, I don't know, 151 was the most serious time, and then that second gen. But after that,
There are currently 802.
802.
Yeah. And the nice thing about the newer games, they have regional Pokedexes that they give you. And then at some point,
Because they're just so damn many.
right. And so, like, it shows you, not only does it show, like, for Pokemon Sun, for example, there's 4 different islands because it's like Hawaii.
Yeah.
And so it shows you the breakdown of your percentage caught based on the different islands that you're on, and then also like the region in general. And then you can also eventually you can look at your national, like if you're trading in Pokemon from other games or whatever, you can compare it to your national decks, which is cool. So
That's pretty cool.
yeah, so that's been fun. There's not a lot of story that's happened yet, so I can't really comment on that. But I've been enjoying collecting a bunch of new Pokemon and stuff that I've like, I don't know who you are, I'm gonna catch you. So it's been kind of fun in that way. And then the other thing that I really enjoyed, I tried to download Mario Kart 8 for my plane ride home, but didn't start it early enough. But I finished downloading it yesterday when I got home, and I've been playing the crap out of it on my Switch, and it is super fun. So
did I miss the review about the Switch?
Yes.
Damn it. Okay, I'll go review that podcast.
But you can talk about it now if you have something you want.
I don't actually have any thoughts on it, but I'm interested in your guys' thoughts, and I don't need to be rehashing the same topic, so I can go back and look at it.
Fair enough. But yeah, so the problem I was having with taking my Switch around is the only game I had was Breath of the Wild, which is not a mobile friendly, like you're not just going to open it up and start playing and like play for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. So it made it really hard to travel and actually like play that game. Whereas Mario Kart 8, you can do like a 4-race circuit in 10 minutes or less, and it's super fun. And
sure, and you can put it down.
Yeah, so I've been having a blast with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. One thing I've noticed that I need to look up though that's kind of annoying, I've talked to TJ about this. It has an autocorrect, which is really pissing me off. Like
you turn it off in settings.
Okay. I didn't know that this was a thing. Like if you drive towards the wall, it'll turn for you.
Ah.
Yeah, they left it. People were mad that they left it on by default, but they wanted, because their point was to have like little kids be able to play. Like if you hand them a controller, like here, you can play with me, then it will keep them on and they'll be playing. And obviously they wouldn't know to go in the settings and turn that on.
Right.
So I mean, I kind of understand, but yeah, they left it on. But yeah, you could totally turn that off in the settings, and I recommend doing that.
Because I was like, at first I thought maybe like my Joy-Cons were like freaking out or something. Because there's times where I've wanted to like duck between, like there's the Toad, one of the Toad maps where there's like a trolley that drives through the middle of the course type of thing. And there's some times where I've wanted to, take a risky like split the difference between it and the wall, and the autocorrect thought it was too narrow, and so it jerked me to the side and made me go around. And I was like, "What? No!" So I will go turn that off. That's good to know. Thank you. So those are what I'm playing mostly.
No TJ required. TJ.
Yeah, TJ. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm gonna have to talk to TJ and play some multiplayer because that sounds like fun.
Very nice.
Very nice.
See, there's me doing the Borat. You unleashed it.
He cannot be contained.
All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap up for this week. So, Trent, want to close us out?
Yes. Thanks, everybody, for joining us again on the Brief Nerdity podcast. Reach out to us on social media. Send us an email. Leave us a comment. Go to iTunes and give us a rating if you feel so inclined, especially now that our iTunes page is fixed again. Yay! So we look forward to hearing from you. We'd love to know what you would like us to talk about and your opinion on the topics that we cover. And we will see you again next week.
Love you guys and gals.
Bye,
Thank you all.
everybody.
Not you, Ted.
Oh.
Bye.
Bye.